What is up, everybody? Back with another video. Today I'm bringing back the mock drafts. It has been about 2 weeks since I've done one, and I've developed a lot of new opinions since then. But let's get right into this mock. Now, there might be some weird things on your screen, like you see Trey Lance at number 4. Just wait till you see my explanations for that pick before you make any judgments. But let's hop right in at number 1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, absolutely. He should already just be at the Jaguars facility working out. There's no way the Jaguars do not pick him, and there's no way they find a trade package that they would take over Trevor Lawrence. So he's going to be the number 1 pick. He's the best quarterback talent that we've seen since Andrew Luck in the draft, and he's being compared to Peyton Manning, except for I definitely think he's a better QB scrambler than he was. So I'm so excited to see him in the NFL, and I got no doubt in my mind he's going to be a generational quarterback. I've been really sticking with Zach Wilson at number 2. The Jets are starting to come out saying they're somewhat shopping Sam Darnold. That's an instant key to me saying that they're going QB in the draft. I really don't see them taking offensive linemen. I think QB makes the most sense. And with a guy like Zach Wilson, in my opinion, the second best QB in this draft class, you got to take him. I think this is a really good pick at number 2. At number 3, I'm going back to Penei Sewell. I've been switching kind of between Chase, Smith, and Sewell. I'm sticking with Sewell for this one, specifically because I think there's not too many offensive linemen comparable to him, and there's just so many free agent wide receiver options that they should go for. Sewell's a really young offensive tackle that's got tremendous upside, and if he can get to that upside, he's going to be one of the best offensive tackles in the league. Now for the Falcons pick, I usually am always going Justin Fields here, but his stock has really been falling lately. Trey Lance has been going up in the rankings, and a lot of people have been saying either QB is going to sit behind a guy like Matt Ryan for another 1 to 2 seasons. Now, I would rather take Trey Lance in that type of situation because his potential definitely seems like it's a lot higher than what Justin Fields would be. Fields seems like a guy who's ready to go right now, but Trey Lance is a guy who's going to take time, and I think it's going to be worth a development project for Lance. At number 5, we got Ja'Marr Chase. I'm repairing him with Joe Burrow from the LSU days in 2018. I think this is a great pick. You have a good wide receiver staff there so far, but you can't pass on this generational talent. I really don't like the other offensive linemen at this spot at 5, but I have to go Ja'Marr Chase here. I think that chemistry between him and Joe Burrow is going to be really good in year 1, and he's just one of the best wide receivers in this class, if not the best, so I think this is an easy pick. So now let's get down to picks 6 through 10. At number 6, I got Devonta Smith. I think this is a really easy pick in my opinion. Today, the owner of the Eagles came out and said they're building around Justin Hurts, basically, so I really don't see a scenario right now, at least, where they would take a QB at 6, even if Justin Fields is on the board. It doesn't make too much sense to me why they would when they come out and say something like that. So that gives me a lot of confidence in taking a guy like Devonta Smith at number 6. Now, number 7 for the Lions, I usually do not go quarterback here for the Lions since they traded for Jared Goff and got rid of Stafford. But I just don't think you can pass on Justin Fields here. I think he will probably be sharing some time with Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff will play a little more than him, just based on the fact that Justin Fields is a rookie in this COVID season. But I do think he'll get some good starts in him. I just don't think you can pass up his talent right here. I still think wide receiver could be the move with Jalen Waddle, but I really feel like Chase would be, I think Fields would be the best move now. At number 8 for the Panthers, I'm going Kyle Pitts. I was debating between Kyle Pitts and an offensive tackle, but I came down to the conclusion that I would take Kyle Pitts. Really would help out Teddy Bridgewater. And don't worry, there's still a possibility about Deshaun Watson coming to the Panthers, which would be really, really cool if I was a Panthers fan. I'd be stoked for that. And this just, even if they don't get him, this really helps Teddy Bridgewater out a lot. And, CMC's going to be come back. He's a guy who can line up as tight end and can line up on the outside as a wide receiver. So I really think he's going to be an extremely talented NFL player. At number 9 for the Broncos, I'm going Caleb Farley. Most of the time I go Patrick Surtain here, but I'm going to switch it up. Farley's stock has been rising. He's an extremely physical and massive cornerback, and that's just something the Broncos need. They've been losing a lot of cornerback talent lately. They just released one of their great cornerbacks who was an ex-Pro Bowler. So you really got to restock that position. You need to do the whole defense over as a whole. Of course, you need a quarterback offensively, but in no way is Mac Jones a great value at number 9, in my opinion. But at number 10, we will go Patrick Surtain because the Cowboys, another team that's in need of cornerback. And Surtain, phenomenal defender. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Season as a cornerback for Alabama. I have high hopes for him in the NFL. Usually I do put him above Farley, but his stock's been coming down a little bit just because of Farley's going up. It's not that Surtain got worse or anything, it's just that Farley's been looking better. Now at 11, I got Jalen Waddle going a little bit later in this draft. I usually don't have him dipping this low. I usually have him going probably top 8, but for this scenario with Fields going 7, I got to take him at 11. I think it's a phenomenal pick. If I was a Giants fan, I would be stoked to see this guy come in. He's another potential generational talent, the wide receiver position. And a decent amount of people actually think he's the best wide receiver in the class because he has a real debate for that. I believe his yards per attempt was about 20, and that's not even yards per catch. Like, he's a phenomenal wide receiver. He was a phenomenal wide receiver at Alabama, and he had a really good chance to win the Heisman if he would have stayed healthy over Smith. For the 49ers pick here at 12, if I could have made a trade, I would have. I don't have the pro version of this app, unfortunately, yet, but if they have to pick, I would take Rashawn Slater if he's available. Great offensive tackle. He can also be a generational offensive tackle talent. Really help Jimmy G out. I do think Jimmy G could be heading back to the Patriots. We'll see what happens there if Bill Belichick really wants him back, which I would assume he would. But really just help out that offensive line. I didn't see too many defensive options I really liked here at 12 for the 49ers. But all in all, I would just probably trade this pick back. And for the Chargers, offensive tackle has to be the move. Samuel Cosmi. You guys should go watch my video on my channel. I think the video has over 2,000 views, which is awesome, of Justin Herbert and how good he was. Their offensive line, the Chargers' offensive line, ranked 32nd, dead last in the NFL. So offensive tackle has to be the move here, and I think this is a great pick for them. For the Vikings at 14, I'm going Elijah Vera Tucker. They're also a team that's in need of offensive line talent. They ranked kind of middle of the pack last season, but I still think they need help on their inside. Really help out Dalvin Cook more, even though he doesn't seem to need it too much. But hey, if you can keep giving Dalvin Cook more help and give Kirk Cousins time to throw the ball deep, this team could definitely be competing for a playoff spot. At number 15 for the Patriots, I got Rashad Bateman going, another wide receiver off the board. I believe this is the 4th one in the draft. I think this will really help Bill Belichick's offense out, a team that's really been struggling to, find wide receiver talent in the last few years, especially since Tom Brady has left. So, hey, you really got to add to that. I don't see any positions that you really need talent more than the wide receiver. So I think that was a pretty easy pick for me at number 15. At number 16, we got Micah Parsons to the Cardinals. He definitely falls a lot of my mocks, but I just can't see many teams that would be extremely interested in him. But for the Cardinals here, this is a phenomenal pick. It really added that defense after just signing J.J. Watt. I kind of feel like I should have done a YouTube video on that, but I didn't. Sorry about that, guys. But this just is going to continue to add to their defense, and I think this Cardinals team right now is going to be a playoff squad. For the Raiders, I got Kwity Paye going, edge rusher. They definitely need more help on that edge. Their front 5, especially for their defense, just hasn't been strong in a long time. I really think you got to continue to add to that, especially in this draft class where I really think there's some good options like right here, Kwity Paye. But their offense, I'm completely fine with their offense. I think Derek Carr is still the quarterback there. This is another team that's me looking for a playoff spot, and maybe this move can get them one step closer. At number 18 for the Dolphins, I got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think the Dolphins, there's just not too many great options around here at 18 right now. Usually I would go wide receiver, but I'm just not the biggest fan of what's on the board, and I just started to think about the possibility that maybe they can get guys like Kenny Galladay and Allen Robinson in free agency, so I'm kind of taking a risk there. But, of course, you could go Terrence Marshall Jr. here, which he is coming up for the next pick. But I really feel like they're going to be going crazy for these wide receivers in free agency. And for the Washington football team, I got Terrence Marshall Jr. This is a team that just needs to develop more offensive, talent. I'm a big fan of Heineke. I really do feel like he could be the quarterback with this team next season. They could also be taking Mac Jones, but I feel like you got to test out Heineke for a while. I really don't know why, but I did like what I saw from him big time. Of course, NFL defense will be more ready for him after this offseason, but I was a big fan of what I saw from him, and I want to see more. And at number 20 for the Bears, sorry Bears fans, but I got you taking Mac Jones here. I think they will pick up Alex Smith here soon, but no harm, no foul. Picking up Mac Jones, build up for that future. I think it's a smart move. Smith will probably be your QB for 1 to 2 seasons, and then you'll have a fresh Mac Jones waiting. I think that's just the best move possible, especially with an organization that's been really struggling to find quarterback talent. So if you can correctly develop some, you're going to be in for the long haul. I got Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, going to the Colts here. yes, this isn't really a team that's in absolute need of offensive line help, but you got a guy in Carson Wentz coming in where if he has that help, he can be a star in this league. And I know that from the facts of what he did with the Eagles a few years ago, back in 2016, 2017. So if you can give him that help, of course you do want some wide receiver talent around him. But again, I'm just not the biggest fan of the wide receiver talent around at this pick here, especially with Terrence Marshall Jr. going at 19 for me. At number 22 for the Titans, I got Jalen Phillips. I think this is also a need. Edge rush. There's a lot of teams down in these 20s and late teens that need edge help, and the Titans are one of them. Extremely talented offensively. There's no way you can focus on the offense in this draft class, especially at the top. You got to go work on that defense and especially that edge game because you need to add more pressure to the opposing team's quarterback, and they've been playing the Ravens a lot in the playoffs. So, hey, you play the Ravens again, get some more edge help, really, destroy Lamar Jackson possibly. At number 23 for the Jets, I got J.C. Horn, cornerback. I think cornerback is a need for this squad, of course. I love to focus on offenses, especially for teams that have super young quarterbacks, as I had them taking Zach Wilson. But I'm just not the biggest fan of the offensive weapons they got around this range in the draft. I think it's better to wait till the second round for them. And this is a really solid option at cornerback. Really, of course you want to work on both sides of the field. Primarily, I like to look at offense, but you got to send some picks to the defensive side too. And the Steelers at 24, I usually don't take running back super early, but I did for this one. Najee Harris, I think running back is an absolute priority for them. They might lose Juju Smith-Schuster. That's really not the biggest miss in my opinion. Of course, he's valuable to that offense, but you really got to add to that run game. James Conner has not been it. You got a good offensive line, in my opinion, over there already, so you got to get a dynamic running back that can do just about everything, which I think Najee Harris can. At 25 for the Jags, I got Tevin Jenkins, offensive tackle. I love to build talent around young QBs, and this is really going to help Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, on the offensive line. Keep building young dudes around him offensively. I think it has to be a priority. At number 26 for the Browns, I got Azeez Ojulari. I believe that's how you say the dude's name. They definitely still need more help defensively. I like this team's offense, especially with OBJ potentially returning pretty early this next season. At least I hope he does, from his really bad, gruesome injury, which, hey, if they had him healthy in the playoffs, maybe they could have beat that Chiefs team without Mahomes in that second half, or at least the fourth quarter. But besides that, I think they need defensive help, obviously, on the edge. You got Myles Garrett. He's looking really good, but add to the other side with Azeez now. Really just continue to help out that defense more because that offense still needs help. At number 27, I am finally giving the Ravens a wide receiver. We're going Kadarius Toney here at 27. Finally, some more help for Lamar Jackson. He's going to be thrown to a first-round pick, in my opinion, based off this mock draft. I'm a big fan of this pick here. I think they desperately need wide receiver talent. They just got to add more than Marquise Brown in that squad. Without him, I don't really know what they are. Mark Andrews is great, but you got to add more wide receiver talent. For the Saints at 28, I'm going Gregory Rousseau. More edge help, a lot of edge help in these late 20s, like I said before. This is a team that's going to be dumping a lot of dudes, and I feel like they're going to need some more help defensively with some of the dudes they'll be dumping. Offensively, I think they're always going to be fine. You got guys like Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, and I think their QB will be Jameis Winston, which he's not a horrible QB. He's a guy who's going to probably just throw to 30-plus touchdowns, but he's probably going to throw around 20 picks, which isn't the best, but defensively, they're going to need some help. For the Packers, I'm going Greg Newsome Jr. Yeah, they're going to need some help on that cornerback spot. Kevin King, he can go to some other team. Just get some more help there. You drafted a great guy in Jari Alexander a few years ago. Says what? You can't do it again. For the Bills, I had them taking Nick Bolton. I think that's really the pick there. You got to take linebacker. That defense is great, but that linebacker spot still needs help. At 31 for the Chiefs, I got them taking Jalen Mayfield. From what I saw from the Super Bowl, I'm not too confident in that squad without Eric Fisher. I think you got to keep helping out Patty Mahomes. You got to assess those issues that killed you in the Super Bowl. And for the Buccaneers at 32, we're going Christian Barmore. Some defensive line help. This is also a team that might be losing some guys defensively, and I think it'd be a smart move to bring in somebody else. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially the people that are still watching to this point. I don't know when my next video will be coming out, But all I know is that I'm going to try getting our mock draft done next week for sure. But thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.